And now we're going to talk to our European football expert, Andy Brassell, about all things at Julen Lopetegui and what's going on in European football. Good afternoon, Andy. How are you?
Afternoon. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Very, very good. How are you getting on?
Yeah, all right, all right.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, the news today is Julen Lopetegui. Looks like he's heading to West Ham. What do you know about this?
Um, well, he's someone who is always in the mix for the big jobs because whereas he may underwhelm a lot of people. So, for example, when he was one of the favourites for the Milan job recently, their fans organised a big social media protest, which was hashtag #NoPetegui. Very creative, I know.
Nice.
He's someone who interviews really, really well. So he connects well with chairman, with sporting directors, and he impresses a lot of people because of that. Now, I think if he comes to West Ham, I think that's not a bad move for them at all. Of course, the two that were really in the mix were him and Ruben Amorim. Now, Amorim, ever since he got caught, the sporting coach coming to London, he's been apologising for it ever since. So he said, look, if one of my players had done that and in the middle of us chasing the title, gone off to London to speak to another club, I'd have absolutely thrown the book at them. So, I have to take the rap and say that, I deserve whatever's coming to me. And they won the league last night, Sporting. Amorim was on stage in front of thousands of fans in the middle of Lisbon saying, look, we're going to go to repeat next season, strongly intimating that he'll be staying, which I suspect is why West Ham have ended up going for Lopetegui, who, remember, did a pretty good job at Wolves, won the Europa League with Sevilla in 2020. So he's had a really unusual sort of backfilled club management career because really, with having had relatively little club experience and a really bad club experience at Porto, where he got them into all sorts of financial issues, he went to coach Spain, and from there went on to Real Madrid, Sevilla, Wolves, etc., etc., etc. So, look, he's a flexible coach. As long as, like at Porto, you don't like at Porto, leave him in charge of the transfers, which clearly isn't the case at West Ham because they've got a sporting director to do all that. If you leave him just coaching the team, he can do a pretty good job. But I think he's proved that he can do so in the Premier League and play attractive football too.
That's the bit that I was going to come on to there, Andy. Do you think that he can actually do that? Because I think the traditions of West Ham United suggest that the way that they play the game, the West Ham way, is quite important. And why the appetite towards David Moyes has been at times lukewarm, I think has been partly due to his lack of attractive football, his lack of expansive football. Do you think that Lopetegui will play the sort of football that West Ham fans desire?
Well, look, he's not Amorim. I think that's pretty clear. He's not as full of bright ideas as him, but he is a step in the right direction in terms of football. It's not defensive football. And I know you can look at Wolves and, okay, they weren't absolutely goalmongers when he was there, but you have to look at the makeup of the squad, what he inherited in the first place. So I'm not sure you can really pin that all on him. But you're right. I mean, in terms of coaching West Ham and in terms of keeping the atmosphere up in a stadium that big, is really difficult to do if you're not playing great football because, of course, the results aren't always going to come if you're West Ham. And if you're a results-only manager and the results don't come, what really have you got left?
Do you think in your opinion, do you think it'll work? Do you think this will make fans happy and satisfied, or will they regret what they've said about David Moyes and wanting rid of him now?
Well, I don't think they'll ever regret the David Moyes stuff because it's really easy for us to sit here on radio shows and tell West Ham fans you should be grateful he won a European trophy for you, first trophy in decades, and etc. etc. We're not the people paying to see bad football week after week after week, and them not winning a lot of the time. Them assemble a really expensive squad that nearly got relegated last season, and one that sleptwalked through the back end of this season. So look, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. David Moyes deserves a lot of credit for what he has done at West Ham, particularly when he first came in the second time, when he was given a bit of a duff hand as well. But they want to be entertained as well, and who are we to sit here and tell West Ham fans that they shouldn't want that? that.
Fans who have... Sorry, Roddy, continue.
No, I was just going to ask Andy about... So Real Madrid have won the Champions League. They've won the league, haven't they? And they've got a Champions League game against Bayern. Yes.
I mean, they might win the Champions League, Rory.
Yeah, I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. But they have won the league.
Yeah, they have. And to be more accurate, Barcelona did it for them because Real Madrid beat Cadiz 3-0 on Saturday. Jude Bellingham scoring one of the goals, having a nice time, really enjoying himself. And then Barcelona went and turned a half-time lead into a 4-2 defeat at Girona. Girona, of course, owned by the City Football Group, nevertheless on quite a small budget, have miraculously qualified for the Champions League, and really is quite a fitting end to the season in Spain. Not just that Real Madrid win it with 4 games left, because they really deserve to, and they've been terrific all season. Ancelotti's played an absolute blinder, as well as Bellingham, but also because Girona have probably been the most entertaining team in the league, and they were in the title mix for a while, and then sort of showing up Barcelona. They've scored 8 goals in 2 league games against Barcelona, which is remarkable when you consider we can't call them regional rivals because there's no historical rivalry between them at all, because Girona are a small club. So for Girona to have played brilliant football, talking of the style you want to play football in, Michel has been brilliant, their coach this season, and I think a lot of their players will get picked off now, notably Artem Dovbyk, who I could definitely see, the Ukrainian striker who's top scorer in La Liga, who could definitely see a lower half Premier League team having a pop for. But really, they've shown Barcelona, actually, for all this trying to activate levers and all the rest of it, you don't need money. You just need imagination and imaginative coaching.
Well, speaking of which, talk to us about Xabi Alonso and Bayern Leverkusen. I mean, what an incredible run that's been.
Yeah, 48 games unbeaten now, Siobhan, and that is equaling Benfica in 1963 to 65. Eusebio's Benfica, Benfica that came and won the semi-final of the European Cup at White Hart Lane and then went on to win the trophy. So they're really up there with the greats of European football. They won 5-1 Eintracht Frankfurt yesterday, despite resting a heap of players ahead of the second leg of the Europa League semi against Roma. They were fantastic in the first leg, winning 2-0 in Rome. And they're really on for an unprecedented treble and an unprecedented unbeaten season. And that he's decided he's staying, and that he is sort of saying to his players, look, come on, let's build something. I think it's really good for the balance of European football, because I think in a normal season, you would say, okay, well, this Leverkusen side is just going to get picked off. All their best players are going to get stolen. They're going to slide back into the pack next season, and it's going to go back to Bayern winning the league. I'm not sure whether it will. I think we're maybe looking at competitive Bundesliga all over again. It's really good for the balance of European football.
You're very right. It's been absolutely incredible just to witness and hear it from this side of the world and take it all in. I mean, it's unbelievable stuff. He's a very much so wanted man, but he's sticking with Bayer Leverkusen too. Andy Brassell, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We'll speak with you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.